adopted, we're going to read the popcorn book. Oh, and just an FYI, Canvey has decided to join me up here. Yes, I have a 1-year reading contract. So this is called the popcorn book. Yeah, I was thinking that too, KB. Where's Jenny? Because she was the one who talked about this book. Okay, well, let me order it. So that's all right. We can read this again at some other point. And it says, and now, a word from our sponsor. Yes. Popcorn and Mizzy Big Stuff are together. Mom, can we make some popcorn? Yes, the popcorn's in the refrigerator. Yummy. Wonder why Mom keeps the popcorn in the refrigerator. I don't know. I'll go look it up. And look at the two kitties. Do you guys remember the two orange kitty brothers, Pushkiss and Pushkins? That's kind of what it reminds me of. Who are hopefully still living their best life. Up in Maine, I believe they live now. Here it is. Popcorn is best stored in a tight jar in the refrigerator, so the kernels keep their moisture. Boy, this is interesting. Listen. Popcorn is the oldest of the three main types of corn. There is field corn, which we feed to the animals, like cattle and pigs. Sweet corn, which is the kind we eat, and popcorn. Look at those kitties. The indigenous peoples of the Americas discovered popcorn thousands of years ago. The Aztecs called popcorn momochitl, and used it for food and decoration. The Lucayan people of present-day San Salvador ate and sold popcorn and used it as jewelry. Before they arrived in the 15th century, Spanish colonizers had never seen popcorn before. But popcorn is even older than that. In a bat cave in New Mexico, archaeologists found some popcorn that was 5,600 years old. Audrey, it's funny because when I first met Popcorn, she was like this big. And most folks know that I have issues where I don't have much feeling in my foot. I was really paranoid that I was going to step on her, and I had to really make sure I watched where I was going. But boy, did she turn into one of the best kitties ever. So, oh, here goes Derecho. For those of you who are asking about CH or the cats with CH, you can also go to FFRSQ.org, and there is information on CH. So I highly recommend you looking and just getting to know, because what CH is. It's they're not in any pain. They live out their normal lives. They just have a little problems walking. So And 1,000-year-old popcorn kernels were found in Peru. They could still be popped. The indigenous peoples of the Americas had many different ways to pop popcorn. One way is to put an ear of corn on a stick and hold it over a fire. Now, the cooking oil. Oiling the cob could keep kernels attached even when they popped. The Ho-Chunk, also known as the Winnebago, were particularly fond of oiled popcorn on the cob. Canby. I still have Canby up here. Another way was to throw the kernels right into the fire by the handful. The popcorn popped out all over the place, so there was a lot of bending and running around to gather it up. The people of these are not, I don't know how to pronounce it, Haudenosaunee, also called the Iraqis Confederacy, popcorn in clay pots. Okay, it's hot enough to add a few kernels. They would fill the pots with hot sand, throw in some popcorn, and stir it with a stick. When the corn popped, it came to the top of the sand and was easy to get. Many of the people of many indigenous nations were fond of popcorn soup. The Algonquins introduced popcorn to the English colonists. Good evening, Greg. The colonists liked it so much that they served popcorn for breakfast with cream poured on it. Thank you, Bula, for watching. We appreciate you watching. We actually have quite a bit of folks that watch from England. Sometimes we have the folks from France, and I know a couple folks watch from Germany. So hopefully they're all in bed, because I know it's way past their bedtime. I think it's after midnight where you are now, Bula, isn't it? Yes, popcorn soup. Today, Americans consume 14 billion quarts of popcorn annually. That's 43 quarts per person. 30% is eaten out at movies, ball games, and county fairs. But 70% is popped right at home. Oh, goody, the kernels are popping. That means the oil must be ready. People in the Midwest buy more popcorn than in any part of the United States. Milwaukee and Minneapolis are the top popcorn eating cities, followed by Chicago and Seattle. Now I'll put more pop kernels in the pan and turn the heat up. Not really surprised about Chicago, because Chicago has all, Garrett's popcorn, I mean, every time, practically any time I have a layover in Chicago, I usually will pick up some popcorn, from Garrett's, or I think there's another big place. Yes, one of Jackie's favorite. Now here's the part I read first. Popcorn is best stored in a tight jar in the refrigerator, so the kernels keep their moisture. If the kernels dry out, there will be too many Old Maids left at the bottom of the pan. Old Maids are unpopped kernels. If the popcorn does dry out, you can add 1 or 2 tablespoons of water to the jar and shake it until the water is absorbed. Popcorn only pops because the heart of the kernel is moist and pulpy and surrounded by a hard starch shell. When the kernel is heated, the moisture turns to steam and the heart gets bigger until the shell bursts with a pop. Unmarried popcorn. Some people tell the story that inside each kernel of popcorn lives a little man. When his house is heated, he gets so mad that he blows up. This book is not what I expected. It's actually a really good book. Really, really good book. And, this is kind of perfect here, There are different kinds of popcorn. White holeless and yellow holeless are the ones most commonly sold in stores. The smallest type is called strawberry because it has red kernels and the ears look like strawberries. Rainbow has red, white, yellow, and blue kernels. It is sometimes called calico. We wouldn't know anything about calicos, would we? There is black popcorn too, but all of it pops white. The biggest kernels are called dynamite and snow puff. After popcorn is popped, most people like to put melted butter and salt on it. But if salt is put on in the pan before the kernels are popped, it makes the popcorn tough. Very interesting. There are many stories about popcorn. One of the funniest and best known comes from America's Midwest. One summer it was so hot and dry that all the popcorn in the fields began to pop. In no time at all, the sky was filled with flying popcorn. It looked so much like a blizzard, everyone put on mittens and scarves and got out the snow shovels. That ain't gonna happen today, just to let you know. Help! I have a blizzard too! I knew you put too much popcorn in the pan. Okay, if you're so smart, what do we do now? I know. The best thing about popcorn is eating it. And then there's also they also have a little thing in the back. The 2 terrific ways to eat popcorn. They got the everyday way and then the Friday night popcorn. So there's just basically 2 different ways you can make popcorn. Sources: the National Museum of the American Indian is one of them. Yeah. You know, I didn't realize, because it's God, I haven't been to a movie theater in so long. When you get butter on popcorn at the movie theaters, if you ask for real butter, it costs like an extra 50 cents or something, and they will put real butter on your popcorn, not that, other type of oil that they do. So, all right, we are going to read now A Wish to Be a Christmas Tree, because I should have read this, last week or the week before. And Canby, it doesn't care. Canby says, you know what? I am just going to clean myself here. All right, Canby? A wish to be a Christmas tree, a Christmas tree, Christmas tree. A wish to be a Christmas tree. Every year, as traditions go, they get in their cars at the first sign of snow and head to the farm at the edge of town to cut the family Christmas tree down. As Christmas neared, the trees rejoiced, for families would come and make their choice. Which trees would go and which would stay? Oh, please pick me, the trees would say. Take me to your home, said the fat Scotch pine. Dress me with bulbs and lights, said the fir, so fine. They all were excited except for one. He knew that his days of being picked were done. I've seen my sisters and brothers, daughters and sons, grandkids and great-grandkids picked one by one. I'll never be taken home. I'm too big and too tall. His sobbing and crying made his pine needles fall. A little squirrel was wandering by and stopped to hear the big tree cry. Take heart, my friend, and don't you fear. To many of us, you are so dear. Your branches keep us safe and warm. You are shelter from the storm. A cardinal flying by chirped in, you are my safety from the wind. Said a white-tailed deer who was walking through, cheer up, big friend, because I need you. Your needles give me a nice soft bed, a place to lie down and rest my head. These things you say to me are kind, but nothing can really change my mind. All my life I wanted to be someone's special Christmas tree. Yeah, me too. With that, he drew his branches in and closed his eyes to dream again, and wished that somebody that he would be more than just a great big tree. Fast asleep in dreams far away, he did not hear the little... Hold on for 1 second. Fast asleep in dreams far away, he did not hear the little girl say, you will be our Christmas tree. Let us decorate you for all to see. Come gather round, the little squirrel cried to woodland animals both far and wide. We need to act without delay to end our great big friend's dismay. He is our friend, this wonderful tree, and do you know where he would be? Without the special things he gives, I don't know how we all would live. Yes. This is a cute book. I don't know where I got this from, and I don't know why I didn't read it before. Without ever complaining, he's given these things, yet never knowing the joy he brings, offering friendship from the very first start, never once revealing the dream in his heart. Everyone should bring a treasure so our great friend can measure the love for him that our hearts hold, the feelings that we're never told. Each animal came with gifts to bear, over ground, through the trees, and some through the air. With acorns, icicles, and berries so bright, they worked and trimmed into the night. The crows searched their nests full of shiny things, hoping to find the perfect present to bring. There, among their treasures, found from afar, was the most beautiful, bright, shining star. His woodland friends decorated him with special things dangling from every limb. Acorns were dangling off branches so strong, berries were strung as a garland so long. The first morning sun brought a wondrous sight, as icicles glimmered and captured the light. Colorful birds perched all over the pine, as beautiful as bulbs and just as fine. Blue jays as blue as a crisp winter day. Cardinals bright red perched near doves soft and gray. The birds were singing so soft and clear, their most beautiful songs for the pine tree to hear. That would be great pre-post. Just be real careful, because I don't know if they're open to visitors right now, just because of all the COVID stuff going on. And after this book, I will tell you something about, something about COVID. The big tree stirred and opened his eyes. Then what he saw was such a surprise. You have made me beautiful for all to see, and now I am a Christmas tree. You are more than just a Christmas tree, they said to him. Why can't you just see? You are special to us every day of the year. We would be so sad if you weren't always near. We are glad that you stayed with us all of these years, but we're sorry that it caused you so many tears. We should have told you the many ways you are special to us and brighten our days. Through winter and spring, summer and fall, you were always here to help us all. With all that they gathered around the tree, and suddenly the tree could see. It wasn't important to be a Christmas tree, but to always be the best friend you can be. And every year to celebrate, they come together on that date to decorate from end to end the special tree that is their friend. Yes, and that is a wish to be a Christmas tree. So I wanted to just let you know, and I know my brother's one of his daughters watches this cam sometimes. I don't think she's on now. I'm sure she would have texted me if she is, but my brother caught COVID, and he is, he told me about it. Yes, it was Jabberwocky, and the reason why I bring it up is because nobody was more careful than my brother with COVID. Not only did he wear a mask everywhere, but he had an N95 mask, so it was the top of the line. He did not go in. He doesn't go into restaurants. He won't. When they gather around for Christmas, he kind of stayed in the garage because he didn't want to go inside. So how he got COVID, I don't know. And of course, the problem was when he got it, they just left my mom's house. So far, my mom hasn't tested positive. But I think one of his daughters is now positive now, and I haven't talked to him today. But I'm just mentioning this because, he was as careful as he could be. He got boosted and everything, and he still got this Omicron variant. It's just crazy. I'll probably talk to him tomorrow to see how he is. He's kind of miserable right now. Well, part of it is because he doesn't feel good. But then he's banished to the bedroom, and so he's in there, catching up on all of his Netflix stuff. So he's already said he's watched all of The Mandalorian. He's watched all of Squid Game. So yeah. I'm sure he'll be fine. He doesn't have the medical issues that I do. So he's actually a year younger than me, probably 100 pounds lighter than me. So, and he's about 4 or 5. Actually, he's about 6 inches smaller than I am. Oh yeah, that's exactly what's happening. So all he's doing is what, and the other thing is, if the rest of the family's out, that gives him a chance to maybe go down and get stuff and things like that. I never saw Squid Game, and I got rid of Netflix a couple of years ago. So I don't know, but I'm just letting you guys know to be careful out there, because nobody was more careful than he was. All right, the next book, like I said, I loved this book when I was a kid. This was like my favorite book, Caps for Sale, and just this is the picture that is always ingrained in my head for when I was a kid. It was, yep. Yeah, it could very well be. And somebody said that basically if you go into an elevator and somebody who was in the elevator before sneezed, everybody in that elevator is going to get it if that person had it. So it's just lovely. But, it's important to be boosted so that, if you do get it, you're not going to get the symptoms as severe. All right, caps for sale. A tale of a peddler, some monkeys, and their monkey business. Yes, Anna, he not only is he vaccinated, he's boosted. He's kind of chomping at the bit because his two daughters are not old enough to get their boosters. So, all right, Tina. Have a good night. All right. Once there was a peddler who sold caps, but he was not an ordinary peddler. Carrying his wares on his back, he carried them on top of his head. First, he had his own checked cap, then a bunch of gray caps, and a bunch of brown caps, then a bunch of blue caps. And on the very top was a bunch of red caps. Oh. He walked up and down the streets, holding himself up very straight so as not to upset the cats. The cats for sale. So as not to upset his caps. As he went along, he called, "Caps! Caps for sale! 50 cents a cap!" Such a bargain. I don't think Amazon can compete with that. One morning, he couldn't sell any caps. He walked up the street and he walked down the street calling, "Caps! Caps for sale! 50 cents a cap!" But nobody wanted any caps that morning. Nobody wanted even a red cap. He began to feel very hungry, but he had no money for lunch. "I think I'll go for a walk in the country," said he. And he walked out of town slowly, so as not to upset his caps. I have so many baseball caps, it is crazy. He walked for a long time until he came to a great big tree. "This is a nice place for a rest," thought he, as he sat down very slowly under the tree and leaned back little by little against the tree trunk so as not to disturb the caps on his head. Then he put his hands up to feel if they were straight. First, his own cap, then the gray caps, then the brown ones, then the blue caps and the red caps at the very top. Yeah. They were all there. So he went to sleep. And he slept for a long, long time. It's been a while since I read this. When he woke up, he was refreshed and rested. All I keep thinking was, uh-oh. Because look at the picture. Yep, Mech. This was my favorite book when I was in elementary school. But before standing up, he felt with his hand to make sure his caps were in the right place. All he felt was his own checked cap. He looked to the right of him, no caps. He looked to the left of him, no caps. He looked in back of him, no caps. He looked behind the tree, no caps. Then he looked up into the tree. And what do you think he saw? On every branch sat a monkey. On every monkey was a gray or a brown or a blue or a red cap. And they didn't, I don't even think they paid for them either. 50 cents. And the peddler looked at the monkeys. Thank you, Lynn. The monkeys looked at the peddler. He didn't know what to do. Finally, he spoke to them. You monkeys, you, he said, shaking a finger at them. You give me back my caps. But the monkeys only shook their fingers back at him and said, tss, tss, tss. This made the peddler angry. So he shook both hands at them and said, You monkeys, you give me back my caps. But the monkeys only shook both of their hands back at him and said, Sss, sss, sss. Yes. And you know, Lynn, the new season of Mystery Science Theater starts in March. It's going to be on their own channel. It's going to be on their own streaming service. They're making brand new episodes. Now, he felt quite angry. He stamped his foot and said, You monkeys, you. Without caps. Caps for sale, 50 cents. Yes, the Gizmoplex. You're right, Lynn. You monkeys, you give me back my caps. But the monkeys only stamped their feet back at him and said, Sss, sss, sss. Oh yeah, this was my favorite book when I was a kid. So this book is, it actually says it's 75 years old. No. By this time, the peddler was really, really angry. He stamped both his feet and shouted, You monkeys, you must give me back my caps. But the monkeys only stamped both their feet back at him and said, Sss, sss, sss. Thank you. I practice all the time, even though I never really heard a monkey go, Sss, you know. At last, he became so angry that he pulled off his own cap, threw it to the ground, and began to walk away. But then, each monkey pulled off his cap. And all the gray caps, and all the brown caps, and all the blue caps, and all the red caps came flying down out of the tree. So the peddler picked up his caps and put them back on his head. First his own checked cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps. Bless you, bless you, bless you. Then the blue caps and the red caps on the very top. And slowly, he walked back to town calling, Caps! Caps for sale! 50 cents a cap! Cheaper than Amazon! Better quality than Walmart! Nah, I kind of made that part up. And then there's Caps for Sale. It is a classic book. And something reminded me of it, so I bought it off of Amazon. But I didn't realize that there is some sequels. We have more Caps for Sale. And it looks like we also have The Monkeys Are Back. Another tale of mischievous monkeys. There once was a peddler who sold caps, but he was not an ordinary peddler, carrying his wares on his back. He carried them on top of his head. First he had his own check cap, then a bunch of gray caps, then a bunch of brown caps, then a bunch of blue caps, and on the very top, a bunch of red caps. When the peddler traveled home that day, he thought about the bunch of monkeys who had taken his caps. It took so long to get them back, he hadn't sold any caps. Not even a red cap. Yeah. As he walked along, he did not look back. He did not see the monkeys come down from the tree. He did not see them following him. Right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot, all in step. When the peddler got home, he was very hungry, but he could not eat. He was worried. He had not sold any caps. Oh yeah, me too. Then he looked out the window, and what do you think he saw? There, in the tree, behind his house, sat the monkeys eating their supper. Suddenly, the peddler was hungry too. He reached for his bowl and ate every drop. And after the peddler cleans his plate, he went out and looked at the monkeys. You monkeys, you, he said, shaking his finger at them. You must go home. But the monkeys only shook their fingers back at him and said, "Sss, sss, sss." Then each monkey dropped a banana skin down to the ground. The peddler was so upset he could not speak. He picked up a banana peel, walked to the trash barrel, and threw it away. He went into his house, slamming the door. The peddler really needs some anger management. What do you think? He did not see each monkey come down from the tree, pick up a banana peel, and throw it in the trash barrel too. Hi, Canby. Canby's looking up at me right now. Oh, give me some pets. Here we go. Where we go? Oh, those monkeys, the peddler thought. They have followed me home, made a mess of my yard, and today I have sold no caps. Yes, the monkeys are very sassy. That is Alma, Anna. He walked up and down the hall. He walked so much that soon it was time for bed. Both Alma and me are from Philadelphia. Just thought you'd like to know. But the peddler could not fall asleep. He turned on his right side. No sleep. Turned on his left side. No sleep. He lay on his back. No sleep. He looked out the window into the tree. And what do you think he saw? Yes, I saw the cat and the dog on the wall. On every branch lay a monkey, falling asleep so peacefully that the peddler began feeling tired too. So he went to sleep. When the peddler woke up, he was refreshed and rested. He jumped out of bed and began to dress. He ate his breakfast and was ready to go to work. First, he put on his own checked cap, then a bunch of gray caps, then a bunch of brown caps, then a bunch of blue caps, and on the very top, a bunch of red caps. He forgot all about them monkeys. Same to you, Ms. M. Happy New Year. Thanks for being here. As he walked along, he did not look back. He did not see the monkeys come down from the tree. He did not see them following him. Right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot, all in step. The town was busy. Some people were going to work, some people were walking their dogs, some people were shopping. Everyone passed by the peddler. They watched him point to the top of his head and call out, "Caps! Caps for sale! 50 cents a cap! Cheaper than Amazon." No. Then they watched the line of monkeys behind him point to their heads. As the peddler sold a cap, he bowed to say, "Thank you." When the peddler bowed, the monkeys bowed too. Everyone was smiling to see such a sight. One by one, the townspeople began to buy the caps. By the afternoon, the peddler had sold all of his caps. When he got to the end of the town, the peddler turned to walk home. And what do you think he saw? All the monkeys lined up in a row. You monkeys, you, the peddler said, shaking his finger at him. You must go home. But the monkeys only shook their fingers back at him and said, "Tss, tss, tss." The peddler gave up. He was too tired to argue with the monkeys. Besides, he was very happy. Today he had sold all of his caps, the gray, the brown, the blue, and the red. He slowly walked home, remembering the day. He did not see the monkeys walking behind him. Right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot, all in step. You know, Aunt Power, I actually did that a few times with Bonnie when she was a teacher. But I enjoyed it. So this is more caps for sale. Now we have another sequel book, Circus Caps for Sale. Early one morning, Pezzo the peddler woke up. He jumped out of bed and began to dress. First he put on his socks, next he put on his clean white shirt, then he put on his fine black and white checked trousers, and last he put on his fancy yellow shoes. Then the peddler put on his jacket and all his lucky caps, picked up his wares, and was ready to go to work. I don't know if there's going to be monkeys in here or not. So far, I haven't seen anything. Just calls it a companion to Caps for Sale. The peddler walked fast as he could without upsetting his caps. For you see, the peddler sold caps. Only instead of carrying the caps in a bundle on his back, he carried them on top of his head. First, he had on his own black and white checked cap, then a bunch of gray caps, then a bunch of brown caps, then a bunch of blue caps, and at the very top, a bunch of red caps. Now, I never saw this, you know, I never saw these sequel books. I figured I'd get them all, so. As soon as he got to town, he began to call out, "Caps! Caps for sale! 50 cents a cap!" And Corley is awake. But the street was strangely quiet. No man stopped the peddler to try on a cap. No woman leaned out of a window. Yes. No woman leaned out of a window to see if they were really good caps. No children ran after the peddler. There weren't even any dogs to follow them. But as he came nearer to the town square, the peddler began to hear the sounds of voices and loud music. Of course, he thought, it must be the county fair. Gotta keep my voice hydrated. Sure enough, the nearer he got, the clearer he saw that it was indeed a county fair. The Ferris wheel turned, the merry-go went round and round, and at the far end of the square, the peddler saw an enormous circus tent. No monkeys yet. Caps for sale, caps for sale, the peddler began to call. But before he got to saying 50 cents a cap, boom, went a big drum as the circus parade came around the corner. Oh well, sighed the peddler, he is bigger than I. I will wait until he goes by. Next, a great big bass horn came into view and began to thump. Bop, 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 bop. Oh well, said the peddler again. He is louder than I. I can wait till he goes by. But what came around the corner next was not just a big drum or a loud bass horn, but the whole circus band. The trumpets shrilled, the trombones blared, and the little piccolos went dee-dee-dee-dee. The big cymbals went bong, and the tiny triangle went ping. Oh well, sighed the peddler for the third time. There are so many of them. I'll just have to wait until they go by. I'm going to take just like a quick 2-minute break just because my back's starting to stiff up. So let me just walk around for like 2 minutes and then I will finish the book. Right, Pontia? Hello, Pontia. Hello. Hi, Marilyn. Alright. Pontia. Where are you going? Hey. Hey, Nyota. Hello. Hello, Nyota. Hello. Alright, so hopefully that'll help. Okay. Much better. Yes, a one-man band. The peddler saw the circus riders prance by on their plumed white horses. He saw the fierce lions and tigers and the chattering monkeys in their cages. Yes, 5-hour difference. He saw a truckload of trained seals and dancing dogs go by. Four striped zebras, 3 long-necked giraffes, 2 double-humped camels, and 1 huge elephant. It was a wonderful parade. Even the peddler thought so, until he met up with Jumbo. Jumbo was the circus elephant in the parade. He liked to perform tricks to amuse the crowd. Sometimes he would simply take some peanuts from a child's hand and put them in his mouth. Sometimes he would fill his trunk with water and pretend to give himself a shower. And sometimes he would steal a hat from a man in the crowd, try it on the rider's head, and return it to the stranger. And I think we know where this is going. Naturally, when Jumbo saw the peddler with his big pile of caps, he reached for it with his long trunk. In a second, there was a very surprised elephant, and a very amused crowd, and a very, very sad peddler. For all the red caps, blue caps, brown caps, and gray caps came flying down in every direction. When the tumblers, the jugglers, and the clowns saw all the caps falling, they thought it was a new trick the big boss added to the parade. So they each caught a cap and went on with their acts. The clowns clowned in brown caps. The tumblers tumbled in gray caps. And the jugglers did their juggling with red and blue caps. The crowd roared with laughter. Everybody was delighted. Well, except for the peddler. Down the main street and all around town, the parade marched with the peddler running after it, calling, "My caps! My caps! Please give me back my caps!" But nobody paid any attention to him. Nobody even heard his voice. At last, the peddler gave up. He sat down on a bench under a big tree and watched the parade disappear around the corner. When the parade was over, the circus people gathered in the big top to congratulate the big boss on his clever new trick. Thank you, my friend," said the big boss, "but I had nothing to do with this." The big boss not taking any credit? No way. Then who did? Asked the jugglers. Who did? Asked the tumblers. Who did? Asked the clowns. Jumbo did, said Joe, the elephant rider. And he told the circus people about the little peddler. Joe also tried to show how the peddler carried all his caps. But when we got to the cap, the first brown cap, all the caps fell down. Then then one of the clowns tried to put on the caps, but when he got to the first blue cap, all the caps fell down. Everybody tried. Even one of the jugglers tried, but when he got to the last red cap, all the caps fell down. "Aha!" said the big boss. "Perhaps it's not such an easy trick after all." And if it's not such an easy trick to do, my friends, does it not belong in the circus? Yes, yes, shouted all the circus people. So the big boss sent 2 tall men to find the little peddler. The peddler was not at all hard to find, for he was still sitting on the bench under the tree, thinking his sad thoughts. "Come quickly," said the two tall men. "The big boss himself wants to talk to you." So the peddler went. "Hello there," said the big boss to the peddler. "They tell me you could carry all these caps on your head without ever dropping a single one. Neat trick, I say, if you can do it." "Yes, sir, I can," said the peddler. He knelt in front of the caps. First he put the bunch of brown caps on top of the bunch of gray caps. Then he put a bunch of the blue caps on top of the bunch of brown caps. Then, on the very top, he put the bunch of red caps. Very carefully, he picked up the whole pile and put it on top of his own black and white checked cap. And slowly, very slowly, he got up from his knees and began to walk around, calling out, "Caps for sale, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." "Bravo, bravo," shouted the big boss. "Bravo, bravo, bravo," said the rest of the circus people. "How would you like to do your act in the circus ring?" asked the big boss. I don't know," stammered the peddler. "I am only a peddler who sells caps, but if you really want me to..." "Of course we do," said the big boss. "There is nobody else like you." That evening, when the circus lights went on, the show was really grand. Yes, there were horse riders and elephant drivers. There were trained lions and tamed tigers. There were dancing dogs and talking seals. Good night, Prepost. There were tightrope walkers and jugglers. Nope, not me, T-Cat. I don't have any kids. And tumblers and clowns. And of course, there was the peddler. Everyone did their acts very well. But most of all, people liked the peddler. They clapped and whistled, and when they saw how he carried, on top of his own black and white checked cap, the gray caps, the brown caps, the blue caps, and on the very top, the red caps, without dropping a single one. The peddler was delighted. He walked around the ring feeling very straight and tall, and calling, "Caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." After the show, Pezzo the peddler sold all of his gray, brown, blue, and red caps. Someone even wanted to buy his own black and white checked cap, but the peddler would not part with it. It was his lucky cap, he said, and besides, it matched his own black and white checked trousers. And that is the end of circus caps for sale. All right. It's probably in February. I have a couple themes that I'm planning on. I will let you know when that happens, and we might have a couple of guest viewers. So I will let you know. Hello, Jeff. We're glad that you're here, Jeff. All right. So, yeah, one of them is going to be. Now, I don't want to like jinx it or anything like that, but I think one of them is going to be, I have a bunch of feral cat stuff, so we're going to read all about feral cats. And then I'll talk about the other ones. Yeah, and you know, let me ask you this, Jeff. When your cats watch, do they go up to the TV and bat the TV like mine do? I actually have 3 cats who like to go up and start batting all the other cats on TV. Like, I keep telling them, don't bat Coralie because she might get you. All right. Thank you, Mike Abe. Thank you. All right, so I am going to head out of here in the frozen tundra that is outside. It is absolutely the coldest day since I moved to Ohio 2 years ago. What's wrong, T-Cat? You're welcome. You're welcome, Craig. Thank you, everybody. Oh. Doesn't help that I sit all day in front of a computer. Yeah, I mean, yeah, thank you, everybody. Things aren't going to really change, you know. Bye, DeWitty. Good night. Good night, Kitty. Oh, look at... Yeah, you can see that. Okay, good. Good night, Pontia.